Good morning, guys. I wanted to come and talk to you today because I am going through a situation. I am in an environment right now where I am not at my most comfortable, and the temptation to get angry and to be enraged is a constant because that's my default mechanism. I am having moments with myself and speaking to nature and understanding what my reaction would mean in the future and what my reaction, how my reaction is what the other person wants. Therefore, if I respond in that way, I am doing what they want. However, I also have to remember that I want to remain always true to myself, and that if I want to be angry in that moment, then I shall be angry in that moment. If I want to be quiet in that moment, I will be quiet in that moment, so on and so forth. The issue that I found that one of the things I've realized about emotions, reactions, and environments where you are not your most comfortable is that when people can control your emotions, they know things about you. When people know what your emotion is going to be, and they, like in a chess game, they can predict your emotional outcome, then they somehow have an insight into your life. But if they can't predict, and they, excuse my words, excuse my language, because I'm going to get a little vulgar, they have some sort of emotional ejaculation about that. But when you are able to maintain yourself in each and every given situation, that is something that they cannot have an insight to, because only you know who you are. It doesn't matter what people think about you. It really doesn't. And I'm learning that each and every day. That if someone doesn't know something about me and they decide to form an opinion about me, or they decide to speak to me in a way which is very much so inappropriate and not exaggerated in the least bit when I call them out on their said behavior, that if I decide to therefore have a quiet moment in the morning and not be in someone's face and be my normal self, and I decide to withdraw until I can get my emotions together, and they don't know what's going on, then they can say all sorts and manners of things that may or may not be accurate. But what I want to tell you guys is this: be careful who you let into your self. Not just in your inner circle, but be careful who you give insight to about yourself. Be careful of that. Be very careful of that. Because once someone thinks they've seen a part of you that they've never seen before, they feel like they can somehow control you and sway you either this way or sway you either that way. But that is very much so inaccurate if you are aware and you remember what you've shared. Because then you know what information they have. You kind of know what, the word I'm thinking of, you know what jewels you've given away, so to speak, because it's something precious like a jewel. It's something, I've been told that I talk all over the place, but if you hear me, it makes sense. The jewel of yourself. What is a jewel? A jewel is something precious, something that sometimes is rare, and sometimes when we open ourselves to other people, that is a rare instance. For me, I don't do it because I don't trust people, and more every day I'm proven right in that decision to not trust people. And sometimes I don't like it, and sometimes I'm happy about it. Today I just feel uncomfortable, and I want to talk about it and get it out because I'm in a difficult situation right now for me personally, although No one else probably understands this, and that's the thing. Other people may not understand you. They might say that you're over exaggerating. They might say that what you're doing doesn't make sense. But I'm here to tell you that if it makes sense to you and that you're okay with yourself at each given moment that you do check ins with yourself, if you're okay with yourself at the end of that check in, don't worry about the rest. Worry about getting through life, and not just getting through life, but living it. Don't worry about what other people have to say, because I'm here to tell you, with my bald head right now currently in Eastern Europe and dealing and being the only chocolate around and having to deal with things and being the only bald woman and being the only this and the only that and the only this and the only that, and having people say things to me that I know for 100% are not true, and having people talk to me in a way which I don't allow, and having to deal with that in a way that is emotionally healthy, it's a challenge for me. It's a challenge, okay? And I just want you guys to know that dealing with things on an emotionally intelligent level, that doesn't mean you're changing who you are. That means that you're assessing situations and you're tapping into more and more of your intellect and more of your emotional intelligence, as well as your mental intelligence, as well as your physical intelligence. You're tapping into everything. Don't let anyone sway you. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. That's the issue, and that's the challenge for us all, is that we have to know who we are for ourselves, because that's the only way they can't tell us. That's the only way no one can tell you what you're doing is an exaggeration or wrong, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you're just being a drama queen. No. If you're being a drama queen, then be truthful with yourself and realize that. If you've exaggerated a situation, then be truthful and honest with yourself. But if you know in your heart of hearts, and when it's just you and nature, and just you and yourself, and you know what the truth is, and you know you've not exaggerated, you know you've done the truth, and you know you've done the best you can do in that situation, then let that truth be the water that you walk on. I love you guys, and I hope you live in your truth, walk on your water of truth, and I love you guys, and I want you to be emotionally healthy, and I want you to be happy. I love y'all. Bye.